Well, hey folks, it's your old pal King Waspinator. Be sure to hit like and subscribe, and welcome to Total Party Skills. Got in the mail yesterday something that I put on pre-order almost a year ago, and that is the Marvel Multiverse role-playing game playtest rules. This is just going to be kind of like initial first impressions review. I'm going to probably do a few more videos on it, because the whole point of this thing as a playtest rulebook is mainly just so people could see what sort of problems there are with the character creation and combat system. That's mostly what's focused on. This doesn't give you a whole lot of stuff about the Marvel setting. It does give you, like a basic starter set of classic Marvel heroes, character creation rules to make your own original. Most of the powers and superpower trees of abilities that are featured in this book, go very much hand in hand, just to make sure that the power sets for the various characters they include in this book are explained. So there does seem to be like a weird emphasis on spider powers and whatnot, but this is not the complete rules. The full core book is supposedly going to be out sometime next year, and will include all those sorts of bells and whistles of more power sets, more characters, all that kind of stuff. My initial thoughts off of it are kind of like how the source books are going to be put together. I do feel it like you could do something where you can have a source book that details all your cosmic end of the characters, your Guardians of the Galaxy, your Silver Surfer, Cosmic Ghost Rider, all that kind of stuff. You could have like a Savage Avengers type source book for your Punishers, Marvel's version of Conan, Scarlet Widow, all that kind of stuff. The overall presentation I do think is neat, and I'm curious to see if the core rulebook and source books, when they do come out, follow this. This is very much like printed and designed in the exact same format they use for their trade paperbacks. Fit perfectly on the shelf with the rest of your collection if you are into that kind of stuff. Ironically and sadly, in the year since I had originally had pre-ordered this thing, I've, getting a little tired with some of the Marvel Cinematic stuff. Thankfully, though, this is actually much more based on the comics. Now, as I'm sure most of you are probably more curious than anything else, is whether or not this is a woke product. From what I can tell, it's as neutral politically as you can probably expect from the people there at Marvel. Its section on, like introduction to role-playing games and all that kind of stuff is fairly straightforward. I like that they just, there's a little talk about session 0 and giving your players the expectations of what to expect and make sure they're cool with everything, which is, generally solid advice most people follow anyway. Yet it doesn't do things like, it doesn't try to you got to make sure everyone signs consent forms, guys, or they can't play Spider-Man or any, there's nothing like that. As I said, the emphasis is it's more of a comic book universe Marvel game, more so than the cinematic universe comic book role-playing game. It's the system, they're calling it the D616 system. I haven't looked at a copy of the Marvel Superheroes role-playing game in at least 25 years, so I'm not sure how much of this version recreates that, or if this is something entirely new. Cursorily speaking, I'm not sure if the point-buy system for ability scores is necessarily like the best approach. And some of the numbers that you end up adding together, like you roll 3 dice 6, then add 46 and 17. It's like, I feel like that could be streamlined a lot. It's starting to kind of get into that ridiculous kind of stuff that you started to see with higher level characters in 4th edition D&D kind of a thing, where the scaling of bonuses just gets or even rolling a die 20 when you're adding 20 something to the roll of die 20. Its ranking system, you kind of choose what rank your characters all are supposed to start at, so you can do anything from having everyone be starting beginning players who just discovered their powers and are going through their superhero origin, to, you can set everyone at street level Hell's Kitchen, Daredevil, and Luke Cage, and Spider-Man level stuff, or you can scale it all the way up where people are playing the cosmic god type characters like Thor and Silver Surfer and Captain Marvel. It's the inclusion of Captain Marvel is actually why I kind of oddly will say this is not a woke book. Now, hear me out. Obviously, people have their opinions about Captain Marvel. this is not a presentation of the grim-faced, dour, angry all the time Brie Larson style Captain Marvel. I'm not sure how well you're going to be able to see this, but it's the picture they chose to use with Captain Marvel's profile in this. You can check that out. It's like, look at her. She's smiling and happy, and I dare say they actually, like, you know, drawn her to look a little, you know, appealing to the male gaze again, which, you know, all puffy, round, and jiggly, where you would like Captain Marvel to be puffy, round, and jiggly. So I take that as a subtle sign. I mean, like, it does feature, like, art that comes from some of the more modern characters. You do see, like, Ironheart and, you know, a few other things like that. But it like I said, it's not written in any kind of way that is, like, really, like, trying to shove it into your face. I think there's, like, one little panel in the corner of, like, a multi-shot where you can kind of, like, oh, look, there's some girls kissing. So, you know, like I said, it's about as neutral in presentation as you can hope. One will hope that it will stick with that format. You know, I've heard from some of the comic channels that there was, like, rumblings that, like, behind the scenes Marvel has quietly put out orders to just go back to doing things the way they used to do things. Just don't make a big deal out of it so that you don't alienate the Twitternistas in the process. But I mean, to put it bluntly, you know, like lots of buxom ladies and strong-looking dudes punching stuff. It's old Marvel. My God, what has happened? It can't possibly last. So, I mean, our art looks good. The presentation, like I say, I enjoy the fact that it's designed and printed in the exact same size and formatting as their trade paperbacks. I wonder if that just could be that it helps them save a little money, since Marvel's already set up to print things with this kind of paper and sizing and all that kind of stuff, so it's easier for them, where they don't have to, you know, shop it out to some other printing service that makes the larger type 11 by 8.5 style gaming books. I don't know. Like I said, my biggest misgivings, just from my brief overlook of it, is the character creation system seems a little clunky. And from what I remember of the old Marvel superheroes game from the 90s, that was a similar issue with that one. But I guess first thing I'll be doing later today in terms of homework for the whole thing is I'll be seeing exactly how bad character creation is. And I'll probably guinea pig it with, you know, the usual suspects that I guinea pig things with. And I'll be making more videos to talk about what I discover. And I don't know, it's just, I liked the opportunity to be able to, you know, give my own personal notes on what they should do with it for what the official release is going to be. I could have sworn it was supposed to have come out earlier than this, and I wonder if some of that might be because of the whole multiverse branding. They wanted to make sure that, like, Spider-Man and Doctor Strange were either out or about to be out before it hit the shelves. Although, actually, there's nothing in this that would spoil anything. Like I said, it references primarily the Earth 616 setting. It does, say that basically, like, your game that you run as the game narrator is its own pocket alternate universe kind of a thing. It basically, like, tells you outright, make whatever Marvel continuity you want. You basically can do whatever kind of what-if scenario, or set things back, ignore parts of the canon from the main comic books, or incorporate from the main comic books. I like the fact that they're kind of using the multiverse angle in that way, instead of trying to create some sort of meta plot that ties directly in with the movies or anything like that. I mean, arguably you can also just try to, like, adhere to the movie continuity of the campaign too, or basically whatever you want. You can have the characters that you don't care for be long gone from the Marvel Universe. You can try to lump everything together and try to be as current with modern continuity as you can. They're probably going to need, like, multiple source books for all sorts of different kind of, sub-settings. They're going to need, like, at least 2 different X-Men settings, because they're going to have a setting for the modern-day comic continuity X-Men, where they're all going crazy in Krakoa, but also people like that 90s animated style X-Men, so they should probably have like a source book for that. As I was saying, they need like a Savage Avengers and a regular Avengers. They should probably have some sort of source book that focuses on the cosmic, a source book that focuses on the mystic. They could have like a whole source book about Valhalla. Either that, or if they try to cram everything into too big and fat of a core rule book, then you get away from the kind of fun of the fact that you can just have like these little booklets like this. Like they could have, instead of one big giant core rule book, you basically could just have like a 2-issue thing where one's your character creation and then another one is, all the game master rules and rules for combat and shit. And then you could just get further issues based on like what kind of characters, villains, and heroes that you want to incorporate into your own, little Marvel universe. So as I say, like, to me, the first thing I really need to like dig into in terms of like the actual mechanics of this, though, is my misgivings about what I see of their character creation correct or not. They don't look like unwieldy or impossible to understand. It's just, considering that there is a thing about, it's a Marvel superheroes game. That's a good subject matter for an introductory game for brand new people who've never played role-playing games before, in the way that the old Star Wars game from West End Games was a great introduction to role-playing games for people who were not necessarily interested in playing Dungeons & Dragons. But I don't feel like this character creation system works well with that. I guess for like noobs and kids, just taking an established character's template and just playing as Spider-Man or playing as Thor or playing as Captain America is probably the way to go with people who are brand new to role-playing games. Because like I said, the point buy stuff for the ability scores I feel could be cleaned up a lot. But that's just me. I guess I'll find out more. And I'll be telling you about it one way or another, because god damn it, we need content! Content, god damn you!